Every story you hear leaves a lesson behind. This is Story Times.
A family that couldn't keep secrets. There are families that talk a lot, and then there are families that talk too much. This is the story of one family where silence felt like punishment, where secrets didn't survive a single night, and where every whisper somehow became a public announcement by morning. At first, it felt normal. After all, what's a family if you can't share everything? But soon, they learned a painful truth. Not everything shared is meant to be heard by everyone. The Adeyemi family lived in a modest home on a busy street where neighbors knew each other's business almost, as well as their own. Mr. Adeyemi was the father, kind, hardworking, and deeply respected in his workplace. Mrs. Adeyemi was the mother, loving, expressive, and believed that talking things out was the cure for every problem. Then there were the children. Tunde, the eldest, observant and quiet. Funk, the middle child, social and outspoken. And Sola, the youngest, innocent but always listening. In this family, nothing stayed private. If Mr. Adeyemi had a rough day at work, by dinner it was a family discussion. If Funk failed a test, it became a lesson shared with cousins and friends. If Tunde liked someone secretly, somehow Auntie in another state would know before he found the courage to speak. They laughed about it. They called it closeness. They believed openness meant trust, until the cracks began to show. One evening, Mr. Adeyemi came home unusually quiet. He sat down, ate slowly, and said little. Mrs. Adeyemi noticed immediately. "What happened today?" she asked gently. He hesitated. He didn't want to speak. But in this house, silence always demanded answers. Finally, he sighed and said, "There might be layoffs at work. My position could be affected." The room went silent. Mrs. Adeyemi gasped. Funk leaned forward. Sola looked confused. "It's not confirmed," Mr. Adeyemi added quickly. "Please, let's keep this in the family." Everyone nodded. But that promise didn't last 24 hours. The next morning, Mrs. Adeyemi mentioned it to her sister just for prayers. Her sister mentioned it to a friend just to be careful. The friend mentioned it to someone who worked near Mr. Adeyemi's office. By the end of the week, rumors had reached his workplace. Colleagues began to whisper. Some avoided him. Others treated him with pity. And one morning, his manager called him in. "I've been hearing unsettling things," the manager said. "Are you planning to leave? Are you unstable right now?" Mr. Adeyemi walked home that day feeling smaller than he ever had. The layoff hadn't even happened yet, but the damage already had. That was the first time the family realized something was wrong. But it wasn't the last. Months later, Tunde got a scholarship opportunity to study abroad. It was competitive, highly selective, and confidential. The school warned clearly, "Do not discuss this publicly until the final confirmation." Tunde shared the news with his parents, excitement trembling in his voice. Mrs. Adeyemi hugged him tightly. Funk screamed with joy. Sola clapped, not fully understanding but happy anyway. "Please," Tunde said softly, "let's keep this quiet until it's official." Again, everyone agreed. Again, everyone failed. Funk told her friends. Her friends posted congratulatory messages early. The post spread. Someone else unknown, jealous, careless sent false information to the scholarship committee. Within weeks, Tunde received an email. "Due to conflicting information regarding your application, we regret to inform you." The rejection broke him. He locked himself in his room for days. And for the first time, he said out loud what he had always felt. "I don't feel safe sharing my dreams here." That sentence hit harder than any slap. But the family still didn't fully learn. Because habits built over years don't disappear in a day. Funk was next. She confided in her mother about a mistake she made in a relationship. She was ashamed. She needed guidance, not judgment. Mrs. Adeyemi listened. Then shared it during a family gathering, disguised as advice. Funk heard her story retold in someone else's voice. She felt exposed, humiliated, betrayed. That night, she cried quietly and promised herself, "Next time, I'll keep it to myself." Little by little, the house changed. Dinner conversations became shallow. Laughter felt forced. Doors stayed closed longer. They still talked. But no one truly shared anymore. Because when secrets aren't protected, trust dies silently. The turning point came from the least expected person. Sola, the youngest, the observer, the one everyone assumed didn't understand much. One evening, during dinner, Sola asked a simple question. Why don't we talk like we used to? Everyone froze. No one answered. Then Sola continued. Anytime someone talks, it becomes a story for everyone else. So why talk? Silence filled the room. That silence carried years of pain. That night, the family finally had the conversation they had avoided for too long. Mr. Adeyemi spoke first. I thought sharing everything made us close, he said. But I now realize it made us careless. Mrs. Adeyemi cried. I didn't know I was hurting you, she said to her children. I thought I was helping. Tunde spoke through tears. Love without boundaries is still harmful. Funk nodded. Not every truth needs an audience. And Sola, quietly wise, said, some things need protection, not repetition. That night, the family made a new agreement. Not silence, but discernment. They learned. Not every problem needs to be shared. Not every story needs to be told. Not every truth needs to travel. They learned that privacy is not secrecy, and wisdom is knowing the difference. Slowly, trust began to return. When someone shared, it stayed where it was given. When someone was quiet, it was respected. The home felt lighter, safer, warmer, and that's the lesson of this story. A family that can't keep secrets doesn't lose information first. It loses trust. Because trust is built when people feel safe. And safety grows where words are handled with care. If you want strong relationships, learn when to speak. Learn when to listen. And most importantly, learn when to keep what you're told. Because love isn't just about sharing everything. Sometimes, love is about protecting what matters most.
Thank you for spending this moment with Story Times. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more meaningful stories. Until next time, remember every story teaches a lesson,